So far we've had an overwhelming response. We thought for the first time round that this would attract an interest of about 250 people, and thus far we've had 650 registered entrants with new expressions of interest coming in daily. The competition is going to run annually, and the top six rugs, as determined by the judging panel, and we'll talk about the judges a little later, will go into a limited edition run, and they will be called the ID Collection for 2011, and one lucky designer will score a trip to Milan next year.
So the process starts with a big stretch canvas. Hand tufting rugs is very much a colour by numbers process. The fabric's stretched to the size of the rug, the design's transferred to a 1-to-1 scale onto the fabric, and then each section is numbered according to colour, pile height, design. We tuff from the back of the rug as well, so the design is actually in reverse. So the back, you can see at the moment the design is starting to be filled, and each colour is tufted individually. This rug was approximately 6 by 8 metres in dimension, so as you can see it's quite large. After the rug is finished tufting, the back is actually glued, so that's what actually keeps the pile in. So when the gun's shooting, it shoots lengths of yarn through the back, and then the back is glued, and then a mesh is also glued onto the back of the rug. And then this is the shaving process. So once the rug is fully dried, it's pulled down and then it's shaved, and that gives it the nice smooth finish that you see on the rugs basically right through the showroom. So talking about the design process, although a lot of our designs are contemporary, we do cover the traditional and also texture ranges as well. And I guess looking at some of our collaborations as well, you'll see quite a great range of contemporary, but also like Catherine Martin, we did quite traditional, and even with Greg's range, we took, I guess, traditional ideas but gave them a very contemporary feel as well. So that's completely up to you to think about what direction, and I guess what we're looking for is a point of difference and inspiring designs as well.
So what I would suggest, if I were to design new designs, which I will be shortly, a couple of new ones, I'm going to go back to that really resolved composition, and it would be definitely about what isn't in the space as what is in that rectangle, that oblong, as much as what is in that space. And I am my own customer every time. I imagine, I'm creating the brief for myself, and I think of myself in the different moods that I might be in. Sometimes I might want a more pared back, neutral feeling rug that's not in my face. Other times I want something that's more challenging, but always the concept for me is plonk myself in the middle of that rug. What does the energy feel like when it's in this space? How much furniture is going to go in that on top of or next to that design? Yes, and I see it as an artwork really, and if it works on the wall, it should work on the floor, but there's more of a perspective involved.
I think it has to be really a defining thing about you and about, your design philosophy, because, if you look at any really successful designer, they've always got a really strong design philosophy, so I think you've really got to bring that out, and that's what I did in my own collection. Within my own range, I was inspired and influenced by so many different things, like this was actually inspired by a trip I did to Miami one New Year's. This was a photo I took of like a concrete screen on a retro building, so that was inspired by that. And other patterns were inspired by historical patterns. There's a Celtic pattern, there's a Chinese pattern. So I was inspired by a whole lot of different things. And also another thing that I wanted with my range is I wanted it to be quite versatile in the sense that if it's recoloured, it could suit a house in the country, or it could suit a beach house, or it could suit a city apartment, or it could suit whatever. And we're actually finding in the office now that it's working really well. We've used the rug collection in a beach house. We're about to use it in a country house. We're using it in shop fit out, so it's been really versatile.
I think texture is really important, and I think that's why considering using the felted wool, the shag, the carving, different lengths, like that really excites me. This is my first time to learn about making rugs as well, so when I was listening to you saying that, I was like, wow, because different sizes and depths of the tufting could create such a different illusion and a different texture on your foot. I think is really nice. Like to consider how it's actually going to feel as well as look.